And now, the 100th episode of The Diary.
Previously on The Diary.
They discovered Mr. Morgan chained to a chair that was bolted to the floor in his basement. They're saying he starved to death because there aren't any signs of torture besides him being bound to the chair. However, there was a TV set up for him to watch. I wonder what Rocco forced Mr. Morgan to watch in his last days. They were finally having Mr. Morgan's funeral. Of course I had to be there. The arts teacher was at the funeral. I was this close to tapping her on the shoulder to offer her my condolences when suddenly, police officers handcuffed me in front of everyone. We crashed head-on, full speed, on Jessica's side. The car was stalled on the side of the road. I was outside the car lying on the grass by a tree. Jessica was still inside the vehicle, and I heard the other car's engine start. They started driving away. I wanted to run after them to get a better view of their license plates, but I couldn't leave Jessica. Jessica has not come out of her slumber. She's so pretty. I thought about how much I hate this person for doing this to Jessica, and I thought about revenge. What would I do to the person who did this to Jessica if I were to find them? Wow, the only options I can think of all involve murder. Interesting. Then I thought about Rocco, and I thought about my sister and their video. Holy Nematode's diary, of course! My sister probably went to school impersonating me and edited the video there. I can prove it. If I can somehow get that computer request log if I see my name on it. How can I get that log? Maybe the arts teacher can get it for me. It's her department after all.
The following takes place on June 21st, 2015.
Dear Diary, I called the arts teacher on the phone. I got it at Mr. Morgan's house. He had it on speed dial. I told her how sorry I was and how I missed my chance to talk to her at the funeral. We talked for a while, and then she invited me over to dinner. I guess a face-to-face conversation was more in line with what she needed too. The food was delicious. She's a really good cook. But that was the only presentable thing. The house looked like a tornado had lived there for a while. Then we started talking about Mr. Morgan. She said she thought he had left on a trip he had planned to reinvent himself and work on his music. She stayed behind because she wanted to finish the school year and then she was going to catch up with him after. They were going to get married during that trip. That is so sad. Rocco and my sister got in the way of that. I must admit, the two of them would have made beautiful babies. Although today, she looks like a train wreck. Looking around, there are empty bottles of liquor in different corners of the house. I can only imagine how depressed she must be after losing her fiancé to murder. Anyway, this is the same information I already knew, so I told her what I thought about the video editing and the computer log. She got super excited about it, as if the two of us together could find a lead that could help us find my sister and make her pay for what she did to her. She got so amped up about it, she wanted to go right then and there, no hesitation. She stormed through the house like a Tasmanian devil, looking for the keys to her car, but was only able to find the spare key. We walked out to the garage, and there it was, Diary, just sitting there. I couldn't believe my eyes. The very same car that crashed into us 2 weeks ago. It was the arts teacher. It was her all along. She was probably drunk and wistful. She was probably bawling her eyes out. She was probably distracted and maybe a little bit suicidal. I recognized the car in a second, and it still has the dents of the crash. Just her car is much nicer and took the impact a lot better, protected her better. Not much damage, it's still drivable. And she doesn't know it was us. Because she didn't notice my pale face as I stared in total panic at the car I've been blaming for Jessica's suffering all this time. And so I went on a trip to school with the woman responsible for Jessica's close death encounter and for the near amputation of her legs. And even though none of those things happened because we were able to reverse them on time, I had now found the person I had been fantasizing about violently murdering for the last couple of days. I don't think she noticed any of it, but I was shaking as she unlocked the door to the school. I was trembling as she booted up the computer from the video editing room. I was jumping at every sound that I wasn't expecting. I was sweating murder out of my every pore. And then she just sat there, at the computer, looking at the logs, and I stood behind her, calm and steady, pretending to look at the monitor, when in fact I was staring at the back of her head, thinking how simple and fragile the human skull really is. The moonlight shone in through the window as I nervously measured the size of her neck against my hovering hands. One quick, sudden movement and she wouldn't suspect a thing. She would be helpless. So, do I have what it takes to murder someone in cold blood? Yes, and no. We did find my name on the log. Mystery solved. It doesn't get us any closer to finding my sister, though. All we know is she was here on this particular day. And so we both went back home, Diary. Because I'm going to plan this murder so that I can enjoy it. Love, C. Kill the girl. Kill the girl.